All right, let's talk about a name that has become an absolute cultural phenomenon, Pushpa Raj. We're going to deconstruct his story today because it's this incredible journey from a low-level laborer to a kingpin so powerful he can literally install new governments. It's really a masterclass in pure, uncut ambition. So let's get into it.
Everything you need to know about him really starts with this one line. It's so iconic, and you gotta understand, this isn't just him boasting, it's his whole philosophy boiled down. It tells you right away this is a man who is done being underestimated, and he's more than willing to burn down anything or anyone that gets in his way.
So who is this guy really? Well, at his very core, Pushpa is all about his name. Or, to be more specific, the fact that he doesn't have a family name he can claim with any kind of pride. You know, that insecurity, that chip on his shoulder about his own identity, that becomes the rocket fuel for his entire incredible rise.
What's so fascinating is just how simple his starting point is. He's a laborer, the bottom of the ladder in this huge smuggling operation. But he lives by this one powerful rule: he will not bow down. Jurgega nahi, as he says. And that simple idea, that refusal to bend the knee to anyone, is what makes him so unbelievably dangerous and so compelling to watch.
And that one philosophy, well, it launches him on this absolutely ruthless climb. See, Pushpa doesn't just want a seat at the table, he wants to burn the old table and build a brand new one that he owns. And his whole ascent is basically a brilliant three-step coup.
So he starts as just a guy on the ground, learning the ropes. But with some incredible cleverness and just pure guts, he finds a way to leverage himself into a partnership. And from that small foothold, he completely dismantles the old guard and takes over the whole show. It's a lightning-fast, calculated takeover. Of course, when you make that much noise and rise that fast, you're going to attract some unwanted attention. And that attention has a name: SP Bhavar Singh Shekhawat. He's the one guy out there who might be just as proud and just as stubborn as Pushpa himself. This is where things get really interesting.
And this slide just lays out the conflict perfectly, doesn't it? On one side you have Pushpa, who's built this powerful brand based on charisma and demanding loyalty. And on the other, you've got Shekhawat and his badge, representing the power of the state, which he uses to rule through fear. Their fight isn't just over smuggling routes, it's a war over pride itself.
So, with Shekhawat on his tail, Pushpa doesn't just fight back. Oh no, he decides to completely rewrite the rules of the game so the whole system works for him. This is the moment he stops being just a criminal and becomes something else entirely.
And get this, he makes this statement from inside a police station. Why? Because he's just turned every single officer in there into one of his paid employees. He's not just breaking the law at this point. For all intents and purposes, he is the law.
And just look at the genius of how he does it. He creates his own national permit, basically a brand sticker that makes his trucks untouchable. He literally buys the police force. And that scar on his shoulder, once a mark of a poor laborer, he turns it into a badge of honor for his crew. He is building an entire empire, complete with its own laws, its own enforcers, and its own symbols of power.
Just when you think he's hit the ceiling, that he can't possibly get any more powerful, Pushpa makes a move that proves his influence goes way beyond the criminal underworld and right into the highest levels of government.
And the craziest part is what kicks it all off. It's such a small domestic request. His wife, Srivalli, just wants a nice photo of him with the chief minister to hang on their wall. And this simple thing is about to set off a political earthquake.
Now just check out this timeline. It's insane. On day one, he gets publicly humiliated by the chief minister. Most people would just be angry. What does Pushpa do? Within a single week, he bankrolls a rival and has him sworn in as the new chief minister. He doesn't just get his photo, he gets a CM who comes to his house for dinner. It's king-making on a scale that is just hard to believe.
So you're probably asking, how in the world could he afford to do that? Well, this number is how. By cutting out every single middleman, Pushpa lands a massive international deal for his red sandalwood. We're talking 5,000 crore. That's the kind of money that lets you stop asking for favors and start buying governments.
But even with the new chief minister in his pocket, there's still one loose end. That war with his old rival, Shekhawat, is nowhere near finished. In fact, it's about to hit its explosive final chapter.
So Pushpa just throws down the ultimate challenge. He goes public and dares Shekhawat to catch his next big shipment, betting his entire empire on the outcome. It is a massive all-or-nothing gamble.
And Shekhawat thinks he's finally won. He seizes this huge shipment, 2,000 tons of wood, and he calls in all the news cameras to celebrate his victory. But Pushpa was playing chess the whole time. The wood Shekhawat seized was a completely worthless decoy. While the cop was busy having his press conference, Pushpa's real shipment sailed right across the border. He didn't just win, he made his biggest enemy look like a fool in front of the entire country.
In the end, Pushpa's story really makes you think. It forces you to ask this tough question. In a world where the official system is corrupt and broken, a guy like Pushpa doesn't just break the rules, he makes his own. And you're left wondering, is he really a villain, or is he just a new kind of king for a new, broken world?